Shout out to A1 Dunn on the beat. I'd like to welcome y'all to the LK Sports Podcast 52. This is division number 3. We're doing the NFC North. That'll be Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota Vikings. You already know. If you watched the previous 2 parts of the AFC South, NFC South, that's out now. Check them out. Subscribe. We're going to break down the free agency, the additions, the draft picks, the fantasy value, the PFF rankings. We talk about it all. We try to stuff as much as we can in 45 minutes. If we go over, just stick with us. We got our old friend, I guess he's a special guest again. He's been gone a couple months. My dog Dro right here to my right. And to my left, you already know I got G Money with me. How y'all guys feeling?
Doing good.
Welcome back, Pedro. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. It's been a long time, so it's good to be back.
Right on, man. Anything happened with you this week?
No, just recovering. Was a little under the weather, but feeling better now.
Word. So let's go and jump into it. NFC North. We're gonna begin with today. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, the Packers. They finished 8-9 last year, missing the playoffs. Head coach is Matt LaFleur. Start off with their offensive stats. Last year they were 17th in total offense. They were 14th in points scored at 21.8, 17th in passing, 15th in rushing. On the defensive side of the ball, they were 17th in total D, 17th in points at 21.8, 6th versus the pass, 26th versus the rush. They were also 28th in sacks, but did manage to have a +2 turnover differential last year. And we'll see what happens with Mr. Rodgers gone.
Yeah, begin there. I'm going to go ahead and begin there with off-season additions, I guess you can say, by subtraction. They traded Aaron Rodgers to the Jets for first, I got it wrote down here, first, second, and a conditional first-round pick in 24. They say if Rodgers plays 65 games, it becomes a first-round pick. They gave back Aaron and a first-round and a fifth-round swap for 2023. They ended up getting Lucas Van Ness, I should say, pronounce his name better. Then you got Luke Musgrave. Then they got Jalen Reed, and they got Sean Clifford in the 5th round. I put him down because he's out of Penn State. He did well last year for him. We already know Jordan Love is the starting quarterback there in Green Bay now, which is, their biggest question mark, I guess, for everyone right now. What is Jordan Love going to bring to the table? And plus that wide receiving core now. You got Christian Watson, Dobbs. You got a couple more draft picks in there. I'm going to go through that depth chart very soon. We got Dobbs, Jaden Reed, which they drafted this year. They also got Christian Watson, Torrey. They got a bunch of unknown guys. We've seen Dobbs and Watson last year. We can, they're capable of catching the ball.
Most of the time.
Yeah, true. And then Luke Musgrave was they first-round pick to take over for Robert Tonyan, which he's in Chicago now, I believe. And we're going to see, man. The biggest question is Jordan Love. Joe, what you think about?
I don't know. Jordan Love, he has a lot to prove, He might be the up-and-coming of Aaron Rodgers. You never know. Aaron Rodgers was pretty much in the same situation with Brett Favre. Yeah. So it's his time now to prove it. He's been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years now, 2-3 years. So he's learned a lot. So hopefully translate to the field when it's time to show up.
They got the 8th ranked offensive line by PFF, so that's great for Jordan Love. You still got Bakari, Bakhtiari, I guess.
Bakhtiari.
I love trying to pronounce his name. Also, they have, I forgot, their 14th strength of schedule this year, middle of the pack. So that's not a big concern either. My biggest concern is that defense. You got to lean on that defense this year. Last year, I was very high on them. They got a lot of all-pro guys. Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker was all-pro last year. You still got Jair Alexander, which is a top 5 CB in the league. You got Kenny Clark, you got Devontae Wyatt, these Georgia boys. You got Eric Stokes out there at cornerback as well. He in their nickel packages. I think you got to lean on that D, and you got to depend on the 2 guys in the backfield, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think the guys will get some carries this year. You're going to have to see at the end of the day, Jordan Love going to have to win you some games. At the end of the day, them teams going to stack the box and make Jordan Love throw to Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and those guys. And fantasy football wise, you got to draft Aaron Jones, Christian Watson. What y'all feel about A.J. Dillon? Would you? I mean, he's not a starter in your fantasy football, obviously, but would you draft him on your bench to see what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I would. He's still a great player. I mean, he's not no slouch, so I would still draft him, have him there just in case, God forbid, Aaron Jones goes down. But I mean, he's still a little fantasy valuable. Yes, last year it was a bust. Obviously,
Shit,
everybody was drafting.
Let me tell you, I had him.
Yeah, everybody. I had him in a couple of leagues too, and it was just a bust. But I still think he's a great running back. He's definitely he's hard to get down, so he's productive when he's on.
So I'm going to give you another player.
I was going to say, I think he was definitely a disappointment last year, people. I mean, he still went for 707, but I think they're going to run the ball a lot more this year too. So
I'm going to ask you this one, G. Luke, the tight end, would you like him on your team? Or do you think he's going to get some targets?
I think I would take a flyer on him as my second tight end, just because, especially if I wait on a tight end or something like that, take a flyer, because they would say the young quarterbacks, the safety valve is the tight end. So he, I think he definitely, I mean, they used the second round pick on him. So I think and I like him. I like him as a player. So I think he's draftable for sure. He might be better than any of the wide receiver options, to be honest. I like
Christian Watson a lot this year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really think he's gonna do well for them.
If Aaron Rodgers was there, I would like Watson a lot more. But
I'm excited for Jordan Love. I know we're going a little longer than usual on this team, but I just think it's one of those wild card teams where anything can happen with as good as that defense can be. And if Jordan Love can be Alex Smith, just a game manager, and hand the ball out to those guys in the backfield and hit a couple of 3rd and 7s and first downs and keep a deep bombs or something, and things work out in Green Bay favor. With that division they in, they can beat Chicago heads up. They can beat Minnesota heads up. And the Lions, I feel like they got any given Sunday, as I always say, they can line up and win games. They still got talent on that football team.
They do.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the best last year, so it's not like – and they went 8-9 with him not playing as well. So I feel like some of the main pieces are still there. You got Lazard left, Cobb left, and they lost a couple of people on the defensive end. I think they replaced that in the draft, and I think they'll do well this year. So
I think Cobb is out of Green Bay. I don't think they signed him this year.
Yeah, he with the Jets now.
Yeah, he went to the Jets. Yeah,
for sure. And the over under is 7.5. Off the top of your brain, what you think?
Under. It's when you go through the we've been doing with these picks now, it's just I like the defense, but I just don't see where the wins. I want to say this team can be solid, and I don't want to doubt Jordan Love yet until I really see him play, but I just don't know where the wins are coming from for this team, even though they might win some games in the division, but outside of that, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's just up to Jordan Love. We've got to see what he brings to the table.
It's 7? It's 7?
Yeah.
7.5. Wow, I'm surprised.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I believe you. It's surprising me.
All right. Speaking of quarterback, they got approved. We're gonna move on to Chicago Bears. Justin Fields got talent. He got some. I mean, they built around him. So go ahead. Yeah,
the Bears with head coach Matt Eberflus going into his second year. They were 3-14 last year. Let's start on the offense, which wasn't nearly as bad. They were. It was pretty bad too, but they were 28th in total offense, 23rd in points. They averaged 19.2. They were last in passing, but first in rushing. But the defensive side of the ball was where it was a total disaster for the Bears last year. They were 29th in total D. They gave up the most points at 27.2 points per game. They were 18th versus the pass, second to last versus the rush, last in sacks. And then had a -2 turnover differential. So in that aspect, it wasn't too bad. They turned the ball over a lot, but they also forced a lot of turnovers too, as bad as that defense was.
Yeah, Chicago had a rough season. Remember times they weren't even throwing the ball, 5, 6, 7 times in the game, which was unusual for an NFL team. And a lot of people thought Justin Fields, this is the year to prove it. But last year they were like, this is a guy y'all drafting. He can't even throw the ball 10 times in a football game. So this is a year for Justin Fields to try to prove it. They over under 7.5, which we'll get back to at the end. They got a 21st ranked offensive line, which can be a problem, but the speed of Justin Fields, he always seems to get them out of trouble. They got the 6th easiest strength of schedule this year, so that's going to be a bonus for them going throughout the year. So some of the key guys, they got Dante Foreman. I like Blaskin game. He's a fullback. He's very good at what he do, so that it gives me an idea they're going to try to run the ball with Foreman and Herbert and Homer, and they drafted Rondé Johnson. I think it Roche Johnson out of Texas. We'll get to that in a minute. DJ Moore via trade. They traded the number 1 pick for DJ Moore. They got a number 9 back, 61 and 23. They got a first round in 24, and they got a second round in 25. So they got a haul for the first round pick, and I think they did very well for themselves, especially getting DJ Moore back in that deal to give Justin Fields number 1 with Mooney and Claypool, if you can give him anything this year. With Cole Kmet, you signed Robert Tonyan to be a backup tight end. Maybe some 2 tight end sets can. Both those guys got hands that can catch it. Cole Kmet came on at the end of the last season. He came out that tight end rookie slump, which all majority tight ends do coming into the league, and they improved that line. That line was worse last year, so that line came up a few notches from the bottom of that PFF ranking as well. On defense, they only got DeMarcus Walker. They went and got Tremont Edmonds, signed him to a 4-year deal. He came over from Buffalo to shore up the middle of that defense, get him a captain out here, the guy that knows what's going on, no coverages, know if he sees certain packages out there, he can relay the messages to the secondary. Hopefully that'll improve that defense majorly, because at the end of the day, I feel like Justin Fields is going to have enough out there to get it done this year. If, like you said, even on 3rd and 10 and people cover, you got to watch out for his feet, and that's so dangerous in the NFL when you got a guy that what 4.4, 4.5 speed running. You got to account for him. So, I mean, DJ Moore, I think some of those guys going to get one-on-one coverages out there, and they got to win them. And I think Chicago really has no excuses this year. They spent the money wisely. They drafted well. They got Darnell Wright out of Tennessee at offensive tackle. They went and got Dexter. I like the cornerback Stevenson. I can't remember what college it was, and they got T.J. Edwards. Miami, yeah. So, and then they got T.J. Edwards. They signed him this offseason for that defense. So they, like I said, they went every single aspect of their roster at GM there. They did an awesome job. Yeah,
they did a good job. I like the addition of DJ Moore a lot. I think that's going to help out Justin Fields a lot, especially since now he has somebody to throw the ball to, especially when he's in trouble. DJ Moore is spectacular getting out of double teams and stuff like that. He'll be open up down the middle.
Let him keep his helmet on this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting season definitely for the Bears. So I'm excited for them. I'm actually excited for them. Justin Fields coming back from that explosive ending of the year, because he started the year horribly, but obviously turned it on after week 7, week 8, around there.
I don't know. It was bad though.
It just switched. The light switched, and he was unbelievable. So we'll see if he can keep it up.
All right, I'm gonna go through some fantasy. I think it's fantasy option. If I miss somebody, you let me know. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and I have a problem with that running back committee. I think Foreman gonna get a lot of run. I think Herbert gonna get some run, and even the rookie Johnson from Texas. I like him a lot. I haven't heard much. I don't get it. I don't buy into a lot of hype of training camp, which is really just starting. But
I like Herbert.
So you think Herbert's the one to get out of it?
I like Khalil Herbert. I mean, yeah, they got rid of David Montgomery, and they had Herbert running the ball a lot last year too. So I don't think they're gonna give Montgomery away if they don't know what they got in Herbert. So.
Yeah, and Foreman there. I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know if I really trust in either, especially with the way, the way they run the ball with Fields. The way Fields runs the ball, but. It's a 50 and Herbert doesn't catch the ball, which is like another fantasy thing too. I think the guy caught 7 passes last year.
Foreman's not really great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird. So it's like, but they're going to try to run the ball. Like I said, they improved that offensive line. So they tried to improve that offensive line. So I still think and overall, I think the team is still. I think they're a year away from truly trying to compete. But that's just but fantasy wise, I don't know which one of those backs I would pick. Love Cole Kmet, though. Love Cole Kmet this year. But.
If you in a deep wide receiver league and you had to pick between Claypool and Mooney, which one would you pick?
Mooney.
Mooney.
Yeah.
Do you remember this lad? Do you remember me with Chase Poole?
I
hate Chase Poole. I don't hate him. I hate him as a fantasy or whatever. Like, I just think he's a bum. Like, I don't actually hate the guy. But
I mean, he showed signs of, getting it done sometimes in Pittsburgh. I mean,
sometimes
it's a solid question. He started on the PUP, actually. I just got news. He was on he's on the pup at the beginning of the year, so I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if y'all have an idea, but
I mean, you can be on that for almost anything. Like, there's a whole
sneeze wrong.
Yeah, and they just start you on there, and you can come off it. There's no timetable for that. You can come off at any time.
Probably got hurt doing a TikTok or something.
Probably.
Let's move on to the Minnesota Vikings.
What was their over under?
7.5.
I'll take the under. I think that's a lot for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to win 7. I picked them to win 7 games, so I guess I was hoping it would be 7. I'd say push, but I'm going to go under too.
Oh, wow, I did it, and it's gone now. Oh, well. It's gone. What happened?
It's gone.
Try hitting the back. If you go back, will it, like, reset or something like that?
I think I had them at 8, but oh, well.
I think you telling me they had them like 8 and 9 or something like that, so.
Yeah. I just think just, like, the power of a running quarterback now and just to get, here we go. Chicago. 9-8. I got them at 9-8, so. Over.
No, I think Justin Fields plays. I think he plays really well this year, but I just think that team needs a little bit. They just need a little bit more growth.
If that defense just can hold people, say, up under 28, 24, I think they can score, man. I really do. I just think Justin Fields is that explosive with his legs.
I think DJ Moore's going to have a really good year this year.
All right, I'm going to draft him before you do. Minnesota Vikings. Give it to us.
Coached by Kevin O'Connell. They were 13-4 last year and lost in the wild card round. On the offensive side of the ball, they were 7th in total offense. They were 8th in points at just a shade under 25 a game at 24.9. They were 5th in passing, and they were 3rd in rushing. On the defensive side of the ball, though, they were pretty terrible. They were 31st in total D, 28th in points at 25.1. So that means as a 13-4 team, they gave up more points than they scored. They won a lot of close games. 31st versus the pass, 20th versus the rush, 22nd in sacks, and they had a +2 turnover differential.
Minnesota Vikings won that division 13-4. I had an outstanding offense with Cook and John and Jefferson, and Thielen gave what he had, and I like the other kid, Osborne. They pieced it together. That defense didn't help them at all last year, and they added Zadarius and all those guys. I was excited about that defense last year, and they really underperformed. I think that defense would have, on paper, did what it's supposed to do. That team would have been there at the end, but who knows? They went and got Jordan Addison this offseason in the draft, which I like a lot, and he just did a bonehead move, driving over 100-something miles per hour.
Did he think he went to Georgia or something like that?
Man, don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro.
He wants to visit. He must have not heard about Henry Ruggs. I don't know.
I mean, he wasn't intoxicated. I think he just one of those guys. Bro. I get what you're saying, but
then you get what I was saying.
I'm thinking about you. 21? I don't know exact age. Millionaire overnight.
21.
You just bought a Lamborghini. It's just like us. If you go buy a track Hawk or anything, you're gonna stretch it out once. So you're gonna go somewhere to stretch it out. It's no doubt about it. He just made a ball-headed move.
100
for sure.
He's going 140 in a 60 mile per hour speed.
If you buy a Lamborghini, you going.
What time was it? Does it say what time it was?
Let's see.
It's like 3 in the morning, some shit, right?
Something stupid. Like it doesn't say.
I get what you're saying.
Caught. We calling it stupid because anybody go buy a Lamborghini,
even if he doesn't
Ferrari,
get caught, it's still stupid, bro. Like
bro,
just one false move, bro, you're dead. Just one false,
bro. If you buy a fast car, you're gonna go fast in it.
No, I get both. I get both sides of this because you, as an NFL player, you need to put yourself at a higher standard. You need to do that. But then again, like you're saying, he's a 21, 22-year-old kid that just comes into a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. I could only imagine what I might have done at that. I did a lot of stupid things at that age with no money. So I can only imagine. But I get, we want to judge them, but it's like you got to, you need to try to be, especially when you're watching all this other stuff happen and like you're watching these other guys.
Money, you can't go out in the track and if you want to race, whatever you.
I know.
But there's a place for that, bro. bro.
But I think it's a little easier said than done. But you got to try to.
Yeah, but
bro,
still,
man,
literally, I can literally go. I was just
you got a Honda, and I'm pretty sure you don't win 100 in it.
No,
You never been over 80 or so in
yes.
that car. Okay,
but still, I'm not going 140 though. Like,
I mean, 140
that's
is
obsessive,
wow.
bro. That's obsessive. That's excessive. That's excessive, bro. 100 and 110 is like the fastest I've probably been in my car, but yeah.
And you were in Atlanta, so you probably weren't using a signal light either. So,
So I'm like, okay, I get it, but we're gonna move on. But I mean, Jordan, get it together. I think you wasn't drunk, but I'm pretty sure that I'm licensed probably gone for a couple of years or something. But you got enough money to get chauffeured.
Just with his pick too, while we're talking about, he's another one where, like we were talking about the whole Bijan thing. I like the player, I like the pick, but if I was Minnesota, I would have probably gone defense there in the draft. But
true. I mean, they went defense the rest of the draft. If you want to go through,
they did.
Kyle Blackman, Jay Ward, and all those guys. It's all defensive guys, man. And I think they tried to fit some needs there. They went and gave Allison Madison 2 years. They let Dalvin Cook go, which I figured out why they was letting him go because he had a
domestic violence.
Yeah, with his girl that's still ongoing. So that's one of those things where like we're not gonna hold on to you, and you possibly gonna be suspended X amount of games, and it's not worth it. And that's pretty much why I feel like he's still out there, and people trying to wait and see what's going on with that. They heard it. He offered his ex-girlfriend $1 million. She said no. So I'm guessing he
crazy.
he really did some bullshit. So whatever. I can't condone that. Be no women, especially his size of a man hitting a woman. That's crazy to me. Anyway, they went and re-signed C.J. Ham at fullback, which give somebody in front of Madison, which I think he can get the job done. You also went offensive line. You went got a couple offensive line guys, and on the edge you went and got Davenport, Reeder, and Murphy, some secondary guys, and you re-signed Greg Joseph to kick those field goals for you. You got the 15th ranked O-line, and you got the 25th strength of schedule, so they got a hard schedule this year. On paper, I mean, Kirk Cousins, Jefferson, Mattisau, T.J. Hockenson, Jordan Addison. I mean, I feel like I think he's a good wide receiver. He came out of USC. I think he can get it done, especially with Jefferson probably having double coverage. I mean, he's going to be one-on-one with some guys out there. And I think Kirk Cousins probably passes for another 4,000 yards this year, and they're going to try to outscore people and see if their defense. My question mark is the defense. The defense going to stop people this year. I'm going to pull up their depth chart right quick. I thought without Dro had.
yeah, I mean, we'll see if they can. I mean, they won 11 one-score games last year. Like we said, they got outscored. They gave up more points than they scored. I think that's not a recipe for. I think they may. I love Kirk Cousins. I know he gets a lot of crap, but I like he's a good quarterback.
Do you think he bought any more gold chains over the summer?
I think he may have. I don't know if you watch Quarterback on Netflix.
That
like makes me. It's funny. I always kind of thought he got a bad rap. Now watching that, I really like him more, and it's a shame when we get to where I have them finishing this year. But yeah, no, I think they'll be fine offensively. We'll just see what happens defensively.
Yeah. I'm just. Before you get started, Drew, some key names. You still got Danielle Hunter there, Jordan Hicks, Marcus Davenport. I mean, you got the names, Harrison Smith. You got some vets and Murphy and Booth Jr. on your edges there, and you got Lewis Sign. I'm going to shout him out because he's a dog. Go Dogs out there at safety. So, I mean.
And the defense struggles, and then they trade away their best defensive player, and Zadarius Smith. They trade him away too.
I don't think he liked it there too much. I think he went there to get back at Green Bay, and it didn't work out. Yeah. So.
I mean, they got a couple picks for him, so it was a fine trade. But with a guy like Kirk Cousins, you think you're trading. He's in the last year of a contract too. So
yeah, I mean they. I like Kirk, man. Like you said, I think Kirk get a rap. I think Kirk got another 4 or 5 years at the position. I don't know if Minnesota want him there, but we'll see it.
If they don't want, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of teams lining up.
If he throws us 5,000 yards this year, I feel like you got to bring him back.
I'm sure the Patriots would love. I'm sure the Patriots would love to have him.
Yeah, come on, we'll take anything. But I don't like. Anyway, we'll get to that division. But go ahead, Drew. I'm gonna let you get in there, sir.
Nah, I mean, I just think they're gonna be all right. I mean, Justin Jefferson is gonna do what he's gonna do, And I think the addition of Jordan Addison is going to help JJ a little bit, especially in the middle of the field. Thielen's gone, so I think Addison is going to take Thielen's spot, and obviously is an upgrade. He's a younger kid, so and with JJ there, I think it's going to be great for him, teaching him the tricks and ins and outs of the league. So I think it'll be good for him if he can just stay under 140.
And a full season of Hawkinson too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too high on Hawkinson.
I love Hawkinson. I'm gonna say right now, if he's there for me, he's on my tight end list.
Okay.
Hawkinson is.
He did well there.
We'll make a trade.
Hawkinson, that dude, bro. He won me my best ball league last year, no doubt. Like
he'll give you Kelsey for Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Y'all give me hell about that, but it's okay. 8.5 over and under.
Oof.
I'll take the over.
I have them at 8 wins, so I guess I have to go under.
I forgot. I got them at 7 wins. Wow.
7.
So under. But there's one of those teams that can easily flip from 7 to 10 and 10 to 7.
For sure.
That team can easily go both ways, and we'll see how that works out.
That division's up for grabs. Anybody can win that division, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I expect the next team we're going to talk about to win the division, but I'm not going to be shocked if any of the teams win that division either.
Right.
This division.
Well, fantasy football-wise, you already know Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Matt Asal, T.J. Hawkinson. Would you have Jordan Addison on your – would you be happy with Jordan Addison as your number 2 or your number – say your flex, I should say?
No. But definitely draftable. Definitely a guy that
he's
he could.
draftable.
There may be a point in the season where you're like, this guy is a must flex or something like that. But starting the season, no.
I'm not. I'm drafting him like late, if anything.
Yeah,
correct. Kirk Cousins, your team is set. You're sitting in the 10th, 11th round without a quarterback. Would you like Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if I'm waiting for a quarterback, I'm okay. Especially because I think they're going to be trailing in a lot of games. So I think you like those good quarterbacks on bad teams,
right? Especially if you got JJ. If you draft Justin Jefferson, you want to try and get.
That's a great stack. You're right.
Yeah,
very great.
Yeah,
stack.
no, Jefferson might catch if they really do what I think they may do this year. Jefferson might catch 150 balls this year.
Yeah, I think Justin Jefferson breaks Randy Moss's record this year. Touchdown record.
And what's the record?
Touchdown. I don't know.
24, I think it is. It's something. 22 or 24.
Yeah, something like that. You should know. You're the Patriots fan.
Hey man, it means nothing when you lose to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
So. He might do He might do yards or catches. The touchdowns.
I think he breaks it because Dalvin Cook's not there, and Dalvin Cook was getting a lot of the touchdowns.
Madison's not a slouch.
No, it's not a slouch, but he's not Dalvin.
But we haven't seen him play. I mean, he's been great, and when he fills in, we haven't seen him play. Get the full workload yet. So, but yeah, I mean, I like him too, but.
Let's move on to the guys I think they're going to win the division this year is Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so the Lions, coached by Dan Campbell, they were surprising 9-8 last year and just missed the playoffs. They were very good on the offensive side of the ball last year. They were 3rd in total offense, 5th in points at 26.6, 6th in passing, 11th in rushing. But on the flip side, they were last in total defense, 28th in points at 25.1, 30th versus the pass, and 29th versus the rush. They were 19th in sacks, but they had one of the better. They weren't at like the Cowboys or 49ers level, but they were +7 in turnover differential because Goff took care of the ball very well last year.
Yes, I like the Detroit Lions a lot. This year, they was 9-8 last year. Their over-under is 9.5, which we'll get to. David Montgomery, they went and got him. They sent Swift to Philly. They replaced him with David Montgomery, and they I wouldn't say got rid of, but Jamal Williams went to New Orleans. He didn't come back, so they went and got David Montgomery on a 3-year, $18 million deal, which is rich for a running back right now. Then you re-sign Marvin Jones on a 1-year deal. I think they brought him back pending Williams. Williams got suspended at the beginning of the year, so he's a vet guy that's been there a couple of years. So, and on the defensive end, they reached out and tried to fix up those problems that you said they was last in. They went and got Alex Anzalone, I think how I supposed to say his name, 3-year deal. You went and got Reeves, Maben, Mosley, you want to get Sutton, Gardner Johnson, Moore, Will Harris. All these guys are vet guys that know packages. They know how to play football at professional level. they trying to improve. I mean, you already had Aiden Hutchinson there. You got James Houston there. Them two guys was some beasts on the end. They had very high sack numbers. I think you just adding to it. You're trying to keep them guys from out the end zone because that offense with the draft pick of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell on the defense, a guy from Iowa, which we spoke about. His teammate went to Green Bay early in the draft. Then you got Sam Laporta at tight end.
Love Sam Laporta.
You like him, and
especially as a player. I mean, I don't know how we'll get to fantasy.
He went to Notre Dame, right?
No, Iowa.
And Notre Dame was
that's the Mayer kid. I forget where he ended up, but
Brian Branch, Alabama kid. He's gonna help at the safety position. Like I said, then they went and got Heaton Hooker, man. I think he's hurt this year. I don't think he's going to play much this year. I think he's kind of handcuffed for Jared Goff, which I think Jared Goff is another guy that gets a bad rap in the league. Jared Goff, he's I don't know the words. He's not Alex Smith-ish. He's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good.
I think he can do it just a little more than Alex Smith, man. I think. You got to think about the run they went on to they lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots, but that run, Jared Goff was pretty good. You had a healthy Todd Gurley and the rest of those guys, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Jared Goff, you hear Jared Goff name.
Alex Smith wasn't a bad quarterback either.
No, he did well in Kansas City before he got the gruesome leg injury, but I mean, I like Jared Goff. I was up in the air why y'all won't just give him an extension and keep him there.
I don't think he's the future there.
He's not old though.
No, I know, but I just think they think the ceilings. That's why I think they're hoping that maybe Hooker plays a little bit this year, and maybe they have a little like Patrick Mahomes situation
if the Lions
there.
Winning this year, Hooker's not.
Hooker's not playing.
I'm saying, or I think they go. I think they might go in a different direction next year.
I just
maybe.
don't know. I mean, Jared Goff. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I mean,
he's middle of the road. Yeah, he's middle. He's like 12 to 15 range, somewhere like that. 12 to 16 range, something like that. Yeah. So, but you could do a lot worse than that.
I mean,
you could have Mac Jones.
Yeah, or Daniel Jones. You could have one of the Joneses, right? So
Daniel Jones almost won the chip last year. So
you done? Y'all fucking done. They got the 5th ranked offensive line, so that's a bonus for Jared Goff.
Their offensive line's a beast. Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna have time to get it done. The 11th strength of schedule. I mean, that's not the worst. That's up at the top. I think it's all set up for the Lions this year. I mean, this depth chart, you got Goff, you got Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Jameson Williams, which I'm going to let you speak about. He's on the suspension for gambling. And you still got Sam Laporta. I gamble too, so. But it's defense, like I said, Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell, James Houston, Alex Anzalone, Kirby Joseph, Sutton, Mosley, Brian Branch. I mean, they got pros out there that done this before, and they know what they're doing, and which I'm big on, especially on defense and knowing packages and things of that nature. So it's just, I got them winning the division this year. I think they'll do very well this year. And, I mean, if James Williams is anything that we think he's going to be coming out of Alabama like he did last year, he's suspended right now with how many games?
6 games.
They gave him 6 games for gambling inside a facility, which that's a whole nother conversation part I think we can have. But, I mean, I get it. I guess you're a pro. You can't.
They weren't even betting on NFL games. That's the thing. Like, he wasn't even betting on NFL games, which is so stupid to me. But
it's still. But it's still stupid on the player side. There's like 3 or 4 rules that you just don't do. Right. And you don't get. So you don't bet when you're on the NFL. You don't bet when you're in the facility or on the plane or whatever like that. And you don't get suspended. It's just. It's just,
but still, just, I mean, like,
I'm not. Why would I get you to vote? To drop the money for me. That's what I don't get. Why wouldn't I be like, hey, put $1,000 on Cowboys tomorrow for me?
No, for sure. I mean, that's it's
because I guess it's just easier when I can just like go on the website and pop. All right, cool. I don't got to bother nobody. I don't got to tell nobody. Stuff like that. But I mean,
I don't disagree that the rules are stupid, but I
don't understand how they're promoting so much gambling with DraftKings, all this stuff throughout the NFL, throughout every like big sport. They're putting sports books inside of stadiums now and stuff like that. You're promoting all this gambling and stuff, but you're gonna get a player like in trouble for gambling. So
it's
like
an integrity thing.
But you're still bringing them around this so much environment and stuff like that. So like I don't understand why.
True.
It's integrity. Well, you already hear these things, people saying like the NFL's fixed and things like that. So
of course.
when you want to, then you start you find out guys are betting on NFL games and stuff.
The guy from the Colts, sorry to interrupt you. The guy from the Colts, he's just fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Like, who was it? Hooker or?
Yeah, the corner. Right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, how are you gonna bet on your own teams like over rushing yards?
That I
understand.
But again, these guys don't only have to follow a couple rules, and they're not going to get in trouble. And is it hypocritical? It absolutely is, because like you said, the way. But I mean, it's the same thing with alcohol and the way they push alcohol, and everything like that.
But I just don't feel like Jameson Williams, like, if he's betting on NFL games, all right, cool. Like, you're not supposed to do that. But if you're betting on like baseball or something,
it's the rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're like, don't do these four
finals or something.
I don't know.
Playoffs or something?
It doesn't say.
Just wait until you get home. Just wait until you get home, or do it before you go. You know what I mean?
On the Wi-Fi, on the Lions Wi-Fi.
It's just like, come on. There's like four rules you have to follow, and you don't get suspended. And I mean, it's like the smoking the weed right before a drug test or something like that in the NFL. Like Kelsey came out and said like 80% of the guys smoke weed, but it's because when the tests are coming. So just you don't smoke around the test, and then you smoke the whole rest of the year.
What league is that? NBA don't test marijuana no more, right?
I don't think so.
So if NFL needs to do that with the pain these guys go through.
Everybody's
it's just stupid. The that's even dumber than the gambling rules, but in my opinion. But
Jamison Williams, I think he's a stud. I mean, once he comes back from that suspension, I mean, we saw it last year. The small sample size that we got when he was on the field, coming back from that injury. So I think that team is going to do all right with Marvin. They brought back Marvin Jones Jr. too. So
they went and got Denzel Mims too.
Yeah, they got Denzel.
Yeah, they just traded for him, who's been a bust so far, but maybe you can do a little something there.
Yeah, so I like that team. I mean, like I said, they were going to be on Hard Knocks again this year, but they got the Giants on there this year. So
the Jets.
The Jets.
Yeah, so.
Same New York. They both suck.
So fantasy football wise, Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Williams. Late pick, you got to find the perfect time to get him, because I'm pretty sure he's on everyone's radar. So if you really want him, you might have to, depend where you pick at in the draft, you might have to sneak up and get him earlier than, let him sit back. And
you getting him in the third round?
Yeah, for sure.
Who? St. Brown?
No,
Gibbs?
I'm getting Williams in the third round.
Oh, Williams? Oh, you should definitely do that. Right, you should definitely do that.
Sam Laporta, I have a question.
Williams. Which Williams? Oh, Jameson Williams?
Other Williams went to New Orleans.
Jamal Williams.
Sam Laporta, question mark for me. What you think? Is he draftable, or you wait to see?
Again, I think you can take a flyer on him late. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be. I think he slots into that starting position there. I mean, it's a weird thing because they had Hawk there too, and they didn't really use him right. But I don't know if maybe that was if that was Stafford didn't really like to throw into the tight ends, and maybe you'll see a little bit more for Goff. But it's that whole thing. You take a guy that high, I think you want to use him. Just why, I think Gibbs is going to be. I think Gibbs is the back to have in that backfield, because you take a guy 12th overall, you're gonna.
But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Look at Kyle Pitts with the Falcons. Drafted a guy, fourth?
Yeah, but that's a tight end though, not a running back though too. But
that's what I'm saying. With the same Laporta, he got drafted pretty high. They're not going to use him.
In all honesty, in the history of rookie tight ends, they don't do well in the NFL in first year. If it does,
but Pitts did great his first. He had 1,000 yards his first year.
I can say not normally. You have outliers, most definitely. But ever since then,
the Falcons also don't have a quarterback, or didn't have a quarterback last year. We
don't know if they got one this year.
Yeah, I know. And I don't like Kyle. And I don't like Kyle Pitts again. So it's. I loved him last year.
Kyle Pitts still getting drafted high this year. I think you drafting the talent. It's there. We've seen it. We know it's there.
Right.
So, that's one of those things. 9.5, over and over. Over, under, sorry. 9.5.
Yeah, I like the over. I have them at 11-6. So
I like the over.
I took the over as well. I think they win that division, that they put it all together. I think Dan Kelman is a great coach. He motivates. I think players like to run through walls for that guy. And I think that team has the pieces to get it done this year. And I really like them to win that division.
Yeah, I agree.
Jamal Williams on that team. Your thought? What was the speech? We gotta eat.
No, they should be good. I think they're in that next tier of the NFC teams, and things go right. Some injuries, maybe they could be in the NFC Championship game, maybe, but they probably won't be. But they could be there. Things break the right way.
I like them. Like I said, I don't know much I can more can say. It's one of those teams. I think they can do well and build off the momentum that they had last year. If their defense was even 4 or 5 ranked up higher, they'd have been better. They would have been 11-6 or so team and been in the playoffs. And who never know what can happen because if golf give you the top 10 golf number or some shit one day, or golf can give you a bottom 20 number. So who knows? But I like golf. Like I said, who knows?
Pedro, you also like the Lions win the division?
I think it's between them or the Vikings, but I think they have a slight edge. So, quick question, sorry.
Okay.
Who you drafting, Jared Goff or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Cousins.
I think the passing volume will be there. I think with David Montgomery, he's a handoff guy, and I think Jameer Gill's going to get some. I think I told you, on both of y'all, I'm not sure. It's going to be a thunder and lightning type backfield, kind of how Ingram and Kamara was a few years back, which worked very well for them. I mean, Dan Campbell is not Sean Payton by far, but I mean, I think they can dial up some things for those guys. Boy,
you must be God.
Boy, I guess we can talk about that more when we get to when we do the Western Division. But I've heard people bring up interesting points about Sean Payton.
Yeah,
so.
that point that you said the other day I was thinking about it.
I think it's that wire.
Pretty true.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So, that's it for the NFC North. Anything about this division you want to talk about, or what you think this division would be overall? So, if you had to rank them through all 8 divisions right now, as in strength, where would you put them? So, think about it for a second.
Probably in the middle.
6,
the middle.
probably.
I think the middle. I think maybe middle of the pack because the 2 Easts are better. I think the AFC West, the AFC North.
I say fifth.
Yeah, there's somewhere right in the middle. I mean, I guess you could even. I mean, you could maybe, depending on how they do, you can maybe the NFC East is still better. Somewhere. Yeah,
I think 6 is good. Right above both Souths. I mean, NFC West got San Francisco. Those guys. AFC West got all the Chiefs, Chargers. Then you got the top, like you said, NFC East, which is the Cowboys. And Eagles, which is top heavy, honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think there's somewhere right there.
I personally, I would love to watch their games, like playing the rival games, their conference division games. I should say more than any other.
Yeah, maybe right there with
yeah.
the NFC South. That, like I said, not going to be shocked if any of these teams win the division. We said we didn't really think Tampa would have a shot in the South, but not going to be shocked.
We'll see on the first game. They play the Chiefs to kick the season off. Thursday,
the Lions, right?
Football.
Yeah, that's the opening night. Yeah,
they always got the Chiefs in there for some reason.
Well, it's always the Super Bowl. It's the defending champ. That's why.
Unless they're good, like that's
it's always a good time to watch the Chiefs play football.
Right on, man. So that's it for episode 52 of the LK Sport Podcast and NFC North. We put a lot of time into it, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps you. We got a fantasy football podcast where we'll touch base on all teams. So I know we said some names here, but we'll rank them a little better as on the fantasy football pod. I'm using that again that you warned me about because I've been trying to word my things correctly. But you already know, man. Oh, positivity. I'm tripping.
Subscribe.
Yeah, we got.
And we also will have a prediction pod also. Even though some of these we could change our mind here and there by the time we get our final predictions, but
for sure.
You ain't got to look up there, boy. That's a whole nother podcast. It's poop for you.
I am liking my chances right now.
Yeah, right on. But you already know, man. Follow your dreams. I'm going to keep it very short and simple so we can get up out of here and start another pod for you guys. Episode 52. If you ain't checked out 50 and 51, we did NFC South, AFC South. We enjoyed it. Like I said, we gave a lot of information on that pod as well. You already know, be humble, live humble, stay humble. And I'm always thankful and grateful for you tuning into the LK Sport Podcast.